Alright, so what now? Are you okay? Well, we have met him before, and he is sort of, and somewhat allied to the Scions of the Seventh Dawn. I mean, he has been spotted in the Waking Sands. So nice to meet you two at last. I would be bitching something about a proper introduction here, but he has acknowledged now is not the time. Sid? Dude, where the hell did you come from? When did that happen? Well, maybe he wasn't listening, because he's kind of sunken in the depths of despair right now. Where the hell did you park it? I mean, oh well, chance to get away, I guess, but... I hope you know how to disguise that thing, because... Yeah, they're gonna recognize it. They're not gonna be stupid. They played us all this way, all this time without us noticing. Yeah. Go. Go. Bye, Pippin. Nice to meet you. Sorry it was under kind of shitty circumstances. So to Ishgard we go! Thankfully, the fact that, you know, they're kind of dicks to outsiders actually going to work to our advantage. Why didn't we think of this sooner? I don't know. Adrenaline, panic. Somewhat understandable. I mean, a lot of crap has happened back to back to back to back to back to back to back. I mean, the shit just didn't hit the fan. Like, somebody seriously threw, like, a whole sewage pipe into a hurricane for crying out loud. Okay. Sounds like a good idea. We don't want to be freezing our balls off in the cold here. Okay, since this is like the first kinds of actions we've done in quite a while, it's been like almost an hour at the rate I'm commentating over this. Are you okay? Dude, sit in front of the fire, okay? You warm yourself up. More complicated? What? Well, we heard talk of an assault, but that could equally just been a bunch of bullcrap.
There has been word from the capital. Ishgard has weathered another assault, and 'tis said several wyverns broke through into the city proper. The Temple Knights succeeded in slaying the beasts, but the intrusion prompted orders to further strengthen the guard and to place the city under a perpetual state of alert. How keenly we feel the loss of our wards at the gates of judgment. Yet we must not bemoan our misfortune. Sir Emmerich is safely returned from Ul'dah, and once more leads the defense of Ishgard. As for the matter of your asylum, I am afraid no progress will be made until the threat to our nation is diminished. But do not despair. You are not without allies. You are more than welcome to shelter here for as long as you wish. Pray, think of it as a new headquarters of sorts. The Falling Snows, or some such.
Now is not the time. No. I love you and all, but now is not the
All
time.
frivolity aside, any who come here in search of you will receive no aid from House Fortom. For once, the Ishgardian reputation for inhospitality shall work in our favor. Agents of Ul'dah will find their every inquiry dismissed, and their every request for entry rebuffed, until such time as their masters have acknowledged your innocence. You once fought to preserve the honor of my dear friend. 'Tis a blessing that I may now repay that debt in kind. But let us dwell no more on this. Pray, join the rest of your companions.
Wait, what?
'Tis bitterly cold this day. I suspect there are those who might welcome the warmth your presence brings.
I don't know. Let's go find out. Because we don't know what happened to any of the others. And now here's a couple more cutscenes, but thankfully they're not nearly as lengthy as the other ones. But once again, this is just one fell swoop recording for like an hour and a half straight, probably by now, so yeah. Tataru! You're okay! I was so worried about you. Were you okay? I mean, I know you were out shopping when we started to go to the banquet. Aw. Oh, hi, girl. I haven't seen you for quite some time. But now we get to see what she actually looks like. Aha! Orianja, you're a smart one. I hope so.
"'Tis all my doing. I believed myself the only one who truly understood Eorzea's woes, and look what that arrogance has wrought. I gave commands, influenced governments with my certainty. I treated the Crystal Braves and even the Scions themselves as pawns in my great scheme to save the realm. But in my headlong rush into imagined glory, I paid no heed to the ground upon which I trod. The salvation of Eorzea. What was it that I hoped to achieve? Did I believe that I could rid the realm of every danger and difficulty? That I could defeat the Empire and the Ascians, and find homes for every refugee? Oh, yes. I was so very clever. Become a guardian of Eorzea, I implored, and sat back to watch my perfect army cleanse the land of chaos. It was all but a means to feed my own vanity. Only when all is lost do I finally realize the truth.
Oh, Alphinaud.
She speaks! Oh, he brought the hot cocoa.
So, Master Alphinaud, are you content to remain a broken blade? Is there no flame hot enough to reforge you? What of the fine companions who yet stand at your side? I dare say the fires of their determination will soon have you slicing the air again with your customary wit.
I hardly deserve such friendship. And besides, where are we to go?
Alphinaud, if I may? Should this place not serve our purpose, then we shall go to Ishgard. Minfilia told me many times, as long as we stand fast against despair, the beacon of hope will never be lost to sight. Be it in the snow or in the clouds, we few will see that the dawn's light shines again.
Don't cry. Don't cry. Oh, she's got a sad.
You are right, Tataru. Thank you. And thank you for your kind words, Lord Orchefon. 'Tis true that Eorzea yet has her guardians. The Scions have achieved much, and 'twould be remiss of me to discard it all in a fit of self-pity. Let us then resume our journey, together, one step at a time.
Alright, so now while the credits are playing, I'm going to skip through some of it, but I feel the need right now to do a little bit of expositing on what's happening. Now, there's going to be more cutscenes after this, as with the ending to the 2.0 main scenario, so you can watch some of these nice still images in memoriam of what has happened. I'm going to leave the biggest point to last because I probably won't shut up about it. The first of which concerns me is the reveal of Yugiri's face. It seems purely exposition for the expansion and obviously of the new race, and it kind of really sucked because she just shows up at the very end and it's like, oh, I just lost my mask. And of course at the end it's the cutscene is not even voiced either, so you can't even really put her voice and her face at the same time. And honestly, considering how many voice-acted cutscenes there were before and after, I really think they kind of dropped the ball there, and that was really kind of stupid for them to do that. I mean, there could have been legitimate financial or any other reasons for that or something, but it just really stinks that, oh, I just lost my mask is the reason, you know, she took it off. I mean, since we knew in the trailer that you were going to see her face, and you did see the very bottom half of it, I thought it was going to be more a request from something was going to happen, and she was going to be, you know, very grateful, and she's like, what can I do? And Alphinaud or somebody will be like, you know, give me the opportunity to look you in the eye, look eye to eye, that kind of thing. And, you know, in a gesture of friendship, she would take it off and show them what she really looked like. I thought it was going to be something like that, so I was severely disappointed with her face reveal. Not that, you know, her character design is bad or anything like that, but I feel it was, you know, pure, just absolutely phoned in-ness. So yeah, seriously, a lot of shit has gone down. And a bunch of it I can't even talk about here because I would seriously sit here and talk in length about it, and it's best probably left in text, which I might do in the description. If not, I'll post it on my Tumblr account or leave a link or something. But the main thing I want to talk about here is Alphinaud's character development, because so many people hated him until this point. Absolutely hated him. And granted, have I been taking a lot of shots at him? Yeah, because he is so easy to make fun of? Absolutely. But I'm one of those people who will vehemently defend him, and there's a couple reasons why for this. And I've spoken about him a couple times before. The major of which is, you know, he's young, he's full of youthful optimism, he's incredibly intelligent, and he honestly, and by his own, you know, admission in the end, and even by Minfilia, he's very prideful and he's arrogant, but he's not arrogant to the point where he's malicious about it. It's more that, you know, in his life, everything has gone his way. Nothing has ever gone wrong, and even when it has, he has people to bail him out, and bail him out pretty quickly. So he's never really had to suffer much consequences in his life, and as a result, he hasn't quite grown as a person the way other people grow, you know, by their mistakes and the mistakes of others and whatnot. He simply lacks that experience, and that's not his fault. Not by any means. I mean, you know, his arrogantness and, you know, his pig-headedness and the fact that he's got his head shoved up his own ass, that he can't, you know, so far that he can't see straight, and that he's, you know, far too short, you know, he doesn't have enough short-sightedness. You know, obviously those are flaws to his character, and I think that's great because he is the kind of person who you aren't supposed to like as a best friend. He never was. You're supposed to want to smack him in the face sometimes. But the important part is, you can still be kind of a jerk, but still be a good person on the inside. And he is. And I was actually surprised that a lot of people, even though you knew from the beginning that there was something going to be fishy with the Crystal Braves going down, you knew that were kind of right from the start, even if it took time to build up. And a lot of people thought he was going to be the betrayer. But if anyone paid any attention to his character and what they were setting it up for as, it was very obvious that he was the one who's being set up to betray. He's far too optimistic, as I said, and he honestly thinks he has all the answers. And it doesn't help in his case, at least in the least bit, that everybody around him is enabling him entirely. Remember way back when the Crystal Race was first formed, it was mentioned several times that this new trial grand company for, you know, the supposed, you know, combination of one big giant, you know, grand company that would serve everybody. It was a trial for that. It was supposed to be under the command of the antecedent, which is obviously Minfilia. She entirely took a backseat to this whole entire thing. It's Alphinaud who actually goes on, gets all the paperwork, gets the funding. He does everything for this company, and she does absolutely nothing. But there's not a single line of dialogue of her, like, actually, you know, referring that out to him. So whether or not she actually did so, or that the fact that he hijacked it from underneath her feet, it doesn't really matter, because nobody at any point does anybody tell him to slow down and walk where he's watching. You know, every time someone is in trouble, he leaps at the call. Like, absolutely leaps at the call, because he believes, as he said, you know, when he came to Eorzea, he didn't really believe, and, you know, he came here to understand why his grandfather did what he did. And he eventually learned it was the people that were worth saving, and he vehemently believes in this idea. And I honestly believe partially the reason a lot of people let him get away with what he did is because they believe in him and his optimism. And of course, it doesn't hurt that he's the grandson of the mentor, so he's got some giant, absolutely giant shoes to fill. And like I said, nobody tells him to slow down. Nobody tells him where he's walking. They just let him get away with everything he wants. It's no wonder he became so prideful and, you know, thinking he had everything under control, because experience was absolutely not telling him otherwise in any way, shape, or form. It's no wonder he ended up the way he did and ends up so, you know, absolutely dejected at the end. And if you remember when we had the meeting to actually choose whether to actually send members of the various alliances to help out with the Ishgardian invasion at the Steps of Faith. Remember when I told you that take a quick note of what the Admiral says to him, and actually pay attention to how taken aback he is when she barks at him and puts him in his place. He is very taken aback by this because he has not been used to being talked down like this. He is like really just whoa. Like most people will be just like, you know, just immediately calm down or whatever, but he is very taken aback by this because he's never had, you know, people talk down to him like that. But basically what she is telling him, remember that the Crystal Braves, and including, you know, him being their commander and whatever, she was among the ones who gave her blessing for it. She's not insulting his potential abilities as a leader, because granted, he has shown that he can be a good leader someday. He just has a lot of, you know, inexperience and pigheadedness issues to work out, but he's also very young, so he's got plenty of time. Basically what she's saying in here for where her loyalties lie, and you know what order everything comes in, and you know that, you know, if you do not understand such a simple concept, you do not have a right at this table. What she is actually telling him is not insulting his intelligence. Basically, what she is telling him actually relates to the fact that they have two very different upbringings. He's the rich, spoiled brat. She was actually a pirate whose strength matters above all else, and not political or you know, bloodlines or any of that. She is telling him that basically, look, I know it seems hard to accept, but you cannot save everybody. Eventually, there comes a time and a place where you need to make a choice about who is worth saving and in what order. It is a very sad truth of life, but sadly, that's the way things are. And what you have to do is you have to make with that choice, and you have to be able to live with that choice. Until you can do that, you do not deserve as a place of a leader, because as a leader, you need to be stalwart like that. You need to be firm in your decisions. You need to know where exactly your priorities lie, where sacrifices need to be made. All of that. In order to be respected as a leader, he needs to learn that, and he hasn't yet. She's not trying to insult him or put him down or telling him he's not worthy of anything. She's trying to teach him as gently as possible a really harsh life lesson. But of course, he doesn't, and where does it do? It bites him in the ass. And what really drives it home about his character development here, that obviously he's learned a lot, and he screwed up, and he screwed up big time. I'm gonna say it again, he was severely enabled, but obviously he's a master of his own fate as well, so his part in this is just important as everybody else enabling him, which obviously didn't help. But what's really drives it home for me, and what's really great about it, is that he figures it out entirely by himself. This is a sign of how much he really has grown, because mature as he is for his age, he really is a child. He is. Which is another reason why it pisses me off that so many people has enabled him. But, like, nobody points the finger at him and saying, look what you've done, look what you could have done differently. Nothing. And at the same time, he does not point the finger at anybody else proclaiming their guilt for anything. He puts it entirely on himself. And this is what breaks him so harshly. I mean, granted, did he unintentionally put the pieces on the table for him and everyone else to be used? Yes, there is no denying that whatsoever, and of course some of it is, even if indirectly, is his fault. However, he did not fire the shot. He didn't. So yeah, I'm going to be very interested to see how he actually grows in the expansion. It's obviously he's grown a bit for the wiser. He still has a lot to learn, but at least he's finally, he's been put in his place, and he is. It's just so amazing to see how absolutely broken he is over this. And even though I absolutely severely love his character to death, it definitely was a long time coming. And thankfully, a lot of people, not everybody, but a lot of people did actually turn around and begin to understand him at least a bit more, or at least appreciate his character more, even if it was more just a light that he was finally knocked down several pegs, which they've been leading up to this whole time. But yeah, for everyone who doesn't pay attention to his character, it's all about that. You can still be a jerk, and you can still be a good person. You can still have this youthful optimism, but be a good person and make good decisions and be mature. But you can still be bogged down by inexperience. And what really, for me, is also a big thing, is that it also shows that, the good guys aren't always quite the good guys, even if they believe themselves to be. Because both your actions and inactions in life have consequences. And by both, you can either end up saving the world, or you can end up severely fucking things up. And that's exactly what happened to him. So yeah, even if you didn't like him as a person or whatever, you wouldn't want to be friends with him. I mean, I would probably get along with him for 5 minutes and then want to smack him 5 minutes later, and then probably get along with him again, because I have a lot of that same snark that he has sometimes. Well, a lot. But anyone who denies that he's not who denies that he's a well-written character clearly has no love for the lore of this game or hasn't been paying attention, because seriously, he is one of the most rounded characters in this game, bar none. Unlike the other Scions, who are pretty much just, most of them have 1 or 2 quirks and otherwise have the personality of a cardboard box, he, even if it took a long time to get there, he actually has some dynamic to him. Obviously, Moonbrita had a little bit of that too, but I've already ranted about her. But yeah, he's, bar none, one of my favorite characters in the game. The Hausherfant, of course, also gets a severe mention because he is such a freaking bro. He has been on our side the whole freaking time. He's never doubted us once. He's never let us down once. And I really am hoping he plays a nice role in Heaven's Ward too, because he is definitely a friend we want to keep around. And I'm actually really curious about how the relationship between him and Alphino is going to work out, now that it's probably going to be more on a slightly personal basis than, a business one. And I love intergenerational friendships. I really do. I have several friends of my own, even if many of them I've met online, and one coworker I haven't seen in several years because, life split up ways. I have several friends who are in, their 40s and 50s and 60s and 70s. I may not have the same type of relationship as I do with my friends my own age, but I love how you can actually, do that and show that. Especially since he wasn't, Alphino wasn't really friends with the other Scions. Have you ever noticed, once we moved to the Rising Stones, he was quite the busy bee. He was almost never around, and none of the other Scions, rarely ever interacted with them, even at the Waking Sands, once we finally got that fixed up, even if that was short-lived before we moved. And he's really only there to make reports, and then he's out again, and all the other Scions are just sitting on their asses doing nothing, and he's out there trying to save the realm because he believes he has all the answers. It turns out he doesn't, and of course I'm selling shit in my shop as credits are rolling. This is really ironic. As I'm sitting here babbling on and on and on forever. So yeah. And I'm very curious, and I'm actually very glad that that they brought his sister back into the main scenario, because obviously that coil stuff, even though it technically is in canon, not everyone has seen that, but I really hope she makes a return in Heaven's Ward. I really do. Not sure how she actually found out about the crap that was happening in Ul'dah. It's not really made clear. Either she was laid, because she's a smart cookie too, was laid privy to some information that she put 2 and 2 together just before this happened, or it happened during, she was probably visiting the Waking Sands, and Urianger was putting up those glamours and whatnot, and they were probably trying to get a hold of everything there shortly before this ran down, and she's like, dude, I think my brother's in trouble, go and get him out. So it's good to see that, even if you haven't done, Coil and, thought she was still mad at him or anything, that, they still care about each other, and that, like I said, even after all that, he still feels the need to watch out for her, even though she's more than capable of taking care of herself, because that's just kind of the kind of person he is. He really believes that everybody is worth saving, and that it's his job for it to do so. It's almost like it's ingrained in his blood that, it's his job to save everyone else, but unfortunately, he forgot about himself in the meantime, and he is just 50 shades of fucked up right now. The poor guy. I mean, granted, in the end, he puts on a smile and he's like, you're right, tomorrow is a brighter day. But honestly, I think a lot of it is a step for Smileless. I mean, I think it's enough to bring him out temporarily that, just a simple, metaphorical slap in the face just to get you grounded in reality just for another few moments, even if long enough to listen. But yeah, he's gonna be quite messed up for a little while, and he's gonna, carefully wonder, what to do next. I mean, he's sitting there questioning if anything he's ever done is good. I mean, I can't even imagine what that's like. I mean, those of you who have known me in the past, known that I've, dealt with, bouts of depression here and there and everything like that. But a lot of it is, just the way the human mind works. I've never really had a really big circumstance in my life that has left me that dejected that quickly. And holy shit, I mean, this kid has witnessed more murder and betrayal in the past freaking hour than most of us have encountered in our lifetimes. Holy freaking shitballs. And I am gonna shut up because I'm gonna sit here and repeat myself forever. I've been probably talking about this one character for 20 goddamn minutes. It's absolutely insane. So, needless to say, we're gonna skip the credits and actually get to the rest of the cutscenes because my voice is getting raw and we're very close to the end and you guys need to see it. And you probably want to see it. You're probably wondering, when the hell is this girl gonna shut up? So we're back to this, huh?
All has been arranged as you desired, my lord.
So how do you play into all this, Lolorito? What are you growling about? What have you and Teleji done? Alright, so Ravan is at least still alive. It's a nice clean cut that, you know, had no blood to it whatsoever. I mean, granted this is a slightly different world, but really? Really? I'm sorry, I can't get over that. Yeah, that happened quite a while ago. Or unless they're only discovering it now because he should have returned by now and he hasn't. What are you two up to? What? Elidibus, what do you want with him? Where the hell are we anyway? So what would Elidibus want with Urianger?
Thou thinkest sanctuary lieth beyond. Delusion, despair, death. Thou shalt find naught else here.
Is that an omen? Is that a warning? Is that a threat? So, yes, that is it for Final Fantasy XIV A Realm Reborn, and what a ride it has been. This game is absolutely fantastic. It has consumed my life for the past at least year and a half. I absolutely love it. It is absolutely amazing. Is it perfect? Absolutely not, and you guys have heard me bitch about that enough. Absolutely enough. At the time of this recording, it is Tuesday, June 16th. Just to give you an idea of how far ahead I have recorded this and how much of a busy bee I have been trying to get this done before the expansion. So of course, some of which I have said might have been moot or proven otherwise by the time this episode actually goes up, but again, I'm just giving you an idea of, as I said even several episodes ago, because I've been at about 8 hours of recording this day alone, believe you me, of the time frame and some of the things I'm saying and whatnot. So if obviously you're going to leave any comments, and I'm sure many of you will, obviously just keep that time frame in mind, that anything in Heaven's Ward is moot for the sake of this video. There's also going to be one, possibly two more specials I am going to be posting, but as far as A Realm Reborn goes proper, that is it, my friends. Thank you. I have enjoyed LPing this game so much. I'm sorry for the break I had to take part way through it and everything. Once I got my stride back in, I was enjoying it immensely. I could not stop recording. Absolutely not. I have days and days and days worth of footage to go through. Obviously, by the time this goes up, it will obviously already be done. But yeah, everything has just been so amazing, and thank you all so much for your support. Those of you who have enjoyed this, enjoyed listening to my ranting, assuming you have. That is a thing I do, obviously. But thank you so much for your continued support and everything. And eventually, I will see you come Heaven's Ward. This is a nameless protagonist, signing off.